lads, it's the evening after the night before. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? How are we all doing? We will get a few people in the building. Hopefully the sound is okay. Hopefully it sounds all right, and there's no issues there. We get a few people in. Yeah, sounds perfect. We get a few people in, and we dissect last night's events. It was upon reflection, it was an interesting night. The card in of itself was not amazing. I think on paper, four big heavyweight fights sounded good, but I think that there was, I think maybe did we over expect on some of them cards or some of them fights? Did we over expect maybe some of them to go a bit more entertaining than they did? But hey, that's the way it is. So we'll let the chat build up for a little bit. We'll let the comment section or the live chat do its little thing. I wasn't late by much. Do you know what, right? It's not even the fact that I deliberately try and be late. It's the fact that obviously with StreamYard records all your streams in case you want to download them, which I very seldom do unless I'm interviewing someone. But the problem is because they all get backed up, you run out of storage pretty quick with StreamYard. So it's always saying can't go live until you free storage up, and then you're literally going and you're like freeing up, and it just delays, that sort of way. So I had everything set up and ready to go at about 7:30. So I'm always late though. It's very seldom I say I'm going to do a live at 7:30 or 8:30 or whatever, and I'm actually there bang on the time. I don't do it deliberately though, lads. I'm not doing it deliberately. I'll do it deliberately, I'm doing it deliberately. All right, Turkey in the building. Big up to iBox and Hub. Shout out to you, my man. Actually, not one guy, it's a bunch of guys. Go over and give actually iBox and Hub a look. Because there's some good reviews, some good lives, some good interviews there. Still quite small at the minute now, lads, aren't you? They're only about 260 subs thereabouts. So all one word there, lads, on screen. You see there, iBox and Hub. Go over there and give it a look. And Ali Drew ain't first tonight. No, he ain't first tonight. And Tyson Fury fan club. Wow. I'm wondering, is that a parody account or is that legit? In fact, it probably is legit, to be fair. Fury beats Joshua easy. Well, I'd be picking him to beat Anthony Joshua, yeah. Do I think he'd have an easy time? Well, prime Joshua, no, but this version, yeah, he probably would have an easy enough time beating him. But I'm seriously wondering if that's a parody. It's hard to know with some of these Fury fanboys because some of these make and say, sometimes they say things and you're just like, they're serious. You're looking at it and you're like, they're flipping serious. So they do look like parodies when they're saying it. And it's like, they're actually being serious with that. Edmund says, G-Man, much appreciate the work this weekend. The watch along was great. Hopefully you get to where you want to get soon, mate. Can't fault you for the work effort. The Zone or Talk Sport will come knocking. Hey, man, you said it, not me. I love that. And I appreciate it. That was a good weekend. And obviously, like, I always say it to people. I always say it to people who ask me about starting the channel and stuff like that. You really do just gotta just try your best to do as much as you can. If it means sacrificing some Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, just do it. Because in 24 hours, I've got 200 subscribers and nearly, 30 odd thousand views just over the course of 2 days. I mean, that's big. That's good. And that's because I literally just said, right, it's going to be channel videos, watch alongs, etc. And I didn't do any. I know you could say, well, you're missing out on things, but it's like I've got all the time in the world later on in my life to do things. Right now, it's about trying to get something going and make something of myself. And if I have to sacrifice that to do this, then I will. And I enjoy it. It's not a chore for me. I enjoy doing it. And I'm glad you liked the live watch along last night. I enjoyed doing it. My legs didn't. They were absolutely. I went to the gym this morning and my legs were just like, nope. Big up to JD. I think AJ will fight in October because he said he wants 3 fights this year, apparently from Washington. I can't think of anyone else. Apart from Washington, sorry, I can't think of anyone else. I'd say Washington, Areola, and then maybe I'd go in with Ortiz. That's what I would be looking at to do. As bad as Herkovich was last night, I wasn't impressed. I wouldn't jump the gun just yet. I wouldn't jump the gun with AJ. Philip says, "Sub G man, what a night that was yesterday." Yeah, it was an interesting one. Now, it was an interesting night. That was a good one. We had a good time here last night as well. And boxing is boxing. I'll watch any boxing. How highly do you rate Hergovic? I rate him very highly early on in his career, but he's really regressed, I think, or stalled. Maybe is a better word. The last few fights. Big up to Reese. Early thoughts on Garcia versus Wallin. I don't understand why it's happening in Turkey, but I like the fight. I do like it. I would probably be edging towards Gassiev to win the fight. Well, I watched the fight back this morning, right? And I have to be honest, I didn't watch the commentary. I did it with the sound off again. And I was partially because I like doing that the morning after, even if I do a watch along where I've no sound. I like just watching it and just kind of watching it in a mindset of knowing I know what happened and let's just look for things. Sometimes I do leave the commentary on, and I got ample warning. I got ample warning from a lot of people that his commentary is bad at the best of times, but it was particularly bad last night. So I made sure, I was like, I'm not gonna even if I wanted, I was like, I'm good. I'm good. It's morning. I'm all good. I won't need to listen to that. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I don't understand the zone's thinking around that. I really don't. I'm not going to go into a big rant. You know my stance on all that. Joshua will make the mark simple. He's gone if he ever had. Yeah, he's made some nice paydays the last few fights. He's had a bit of an Indian summer, and probably best for his own health to call it quits. And the 286 project, big up to Chris every single time. Another good channel. Project 286 doesn't really do, but I don't really do boxing. It's more so a little bit of everything. You do your own like little show. So I'd recommend you go, because I know you said your goal is to get to 100 subs by Christmas. I think you're at 50 or so now, thereabouts. So the 286 project, there it is on screen. Big up to him every time. Shout out to Against the Ropes. Controversial opinion. AJ does the exact same to Wilder last night. Interesting. So Johnny is picking AJ. Okay. Grant Taylor, big up G-Man and the chat. Big up to you, my man. I hope you're good. I hope you're keeping well. AJ going to fight some cream puff before Wilder or straight in for a coma? I'd like to see him have an interim fight. I would. But again, I'm only here. I'm not the one doing the managing around for his team. Tony Bellew should not be combating for AJ fights. I don't understand that. I really don't understand why they would do that, because I heard that Andy Lee and Costello were having to rein him in a bit. Now, Andy Lee is a very good pundit, but as a commentator, he can be a bit marmitey sometimes. Sometimes he's good, sometimes he's not good. Costello comes across as very pro the home of the A-side fighter. So, it's like that with Sky as well and BT as well. But the zone can be very pro their own fighter. So if they're having to rein Tony Bellew in, that really shows how bad he was. I've no interest in listening to it. Bit random, but what do you think about Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate. I have listened to him in the past. Andrew Tate, where do I start? I don't want to go long meandering on about him, but you shouldn't need Andrew Tate to motivate you. You should be able to motivate yourself. There's certain things Andrew Tate does say about empowering yourself, which I definitely take on board. And there's definitely elements of Tate that you could take to help improve yourself. But you have some men who literally say before he came along, no, you shouldn't need someone like Andrew Tate to tell you what you should already know. In terms of, I don't look at Andrew Tate as any kind of savior or anything like that. And whatever's happening to him now, I know he's in Romania and he's having his own issues. I think that he's largely brought some of those issues on himself, because Andrew Tate is a very smart man. That's one thing about a very smart man. Very bombastic, braggadocious individual. And I think he kind of got it into his head. Freud would talk about having healthy levels of narcissism, and Andrew Tate certainly has narcissism. But I think that he's gone past that point, to the point where he started, basically just believing he's untouchable. And when you do that, you make mistakes. Hergovic has found his level, no engine. Yeah, I wasn't happy at all with him. Fan or hater of the man, and AJ an AJ event gives off nice energy for the viewers. Yeah, he definitely brings that in. There's one thing about AJ. If the Wilder fight happens and Wilder knocks Joshua out, do you think he'll retire? Probably depends on how bad. If he does knock him out, how bad a knockout. If it's a one punch, bam, see you later. I'd struggle to see if Joshua could come back from that. If it's a stoppage, maybe just he's rocked and the referee jumps in, you might be able to. Yeah. Enough of these midnight main events. Yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, I was shattered. Get it was on because they were advertising it as a 10 o'clock start time, and I was shattered by the time that was done. Big up to Dr. Reaper. Appreciate that for the £5. As I always say, every little bit helps. You're not under any obligation to, but thank you for donating. AJ needs to put Wilder on his heels. Even on the back foot, Wilder has very good punching power, though. We need to remember that. Even on the back foot, shows how good the power is of Wilder. They're losing where I am in the chat there. Where are we? He definitely isn't that. Ade is definitely not that. So, there we go. I don't understand people who... That was happening last night as well. They come in and they start spamming the chat. Like, I just don't get that. Like, how much time do you have? Like, just spamming a chat. Like, good evening, G. I just finished watching, and we will be talking about this briefly as well, Navarrete versus Valdez. Tremendous fight. Now, I'm going to hold my hands up, right? I didn't do a prediction video, and I meant to preview it on Midweek Report. I completely forgot. My prediction going into this fight, I'm going to hold my hands up, was Valdez to win by knockout, because I thought he'd do a similar job to Miguel Berchelt. Now, because they're quite similar styles, Berchelt and Navarrete, but Navarrete is definitely better, and I knew that going in. He was better than Berchelt. But boy, he battered Oscar Valdez. And, Valdez, he's had a hard career, he's had some very tough fights, and that really, his eye was really badly swollen. Emmanuel Navarrete is, he really is something else. Emmanuel Navarrete is tremendous. Yeah, I don't really want to be talking too much about that. Bellew was said to be a really nice guy, as Ade said. He builds repertoires well with people. That is why the zone keep him on. Tony Bellew probably is, like, I'd say if I went and just had a beer and chatted about football with Tony Bellew, obviously he's an Everton fan, I'm a United fan, I'd probably get on just fine with him. But I think the thing that rubs people up the wrong way is that when you're in a position like he is, where he's doing punditry, you're expecting him to see certain things in fights, and you're expecting him to be as objective as he can, where he's clearly not that, and it's clear as day that he's not even trying to be. I think that's what rubs so many people up the wrong way, the disingenuousness of it, It's like, he comes on there and he's like, I'm here to do a job, and it's like, oh, it's the A-side fight. Like, I remember when Kid Galahad got knocked out by Kiko Martinez, and straight away, this was him as an analyst, and straight away it was like, right, did you spot any of the deficiencies, the mistakes he was making in there? No, just make an excuse. Oh, it was the weight. Oh, it was this. It was like, mate, come on, like. And I'm sure, like, as I said, if me and him just went and had a beer and talked about football or something, we'd probably get on just fine. But I know a lot of pundits can be biased, but when it's just so overt and in your face, it's like, come on, really? And thank you, mate. I appreciate the £10. I really, really do. Problem is that chat is so long and the thing is so small. I'm going to have to scroll and read. I was there yesterday live. Oh, really? I hope you enjoyed it, man. Look at you. And two things. Hrgovic is shocking. And AJ was very close to coming under some serious crowd pressure. One or two more rounds and the booze could have been the main story. How bad was it? Was it really that bad, mate? And again, thank you for the £10. Was it really that bad? Because obviously, watching it both times with the sound off, I don't know that there's booze. Joshua fight. Because bear in mind, right, Joshua's fought Parker and he fought Ruiz. And they were not compelling viewing, it's fair to say. And the crowd did not even remotely come close to turning. So for him to be, and so soon in a fight, to have booze in, that's new. So I'm surprised hearing that. I really am. Um, I'm surprised now to hear that. I really am. And it'd be interesting to know what you had to, how your experience was. Feel free to let me know, because you obviously were there. You can say for definite how bad it was, and how many were there. So it's gonna be interesting. What do I think of McGregor shadowboxing? I think he stopped because the shadow was gaining the upper hand. I wonder what Dylan White will be thinking at home after Joshua's poor performance. He might have caused an upset. Dylan White is not as rangy or as tall as Helenius. It would have been interesting. I tend to suspect Joshua would have got the Dylan White. Might not have been as easy. You never know, but yeah, I tend to suspect that's what would have happened as well. Excuse me. Make me drink. McGregor needs to lay off the drink and the "how you doing." Every event he always seems out of it. Did something happen to him at the event that he upset someone or something? Like off camera? Because people were telling me today that he had some issues. And I was like, I didn't even notice it. I don't want to sound like one of these people, but that's exactly how I thought AJ fight would go. I said he'll be tentative and then get to him in 6 to 8. Right, man, you called it. You called it. I genuinely thought he would come out a little bit. Well, I thought he'd come out and just look to land some shots early and get rid of him early. I'm late to the stream. What's your views on Dennis McCann and his upcoming fight this week? Yeah, he's fighting on Friday, isn't it? In the York Hall. He's fighting Ino Belute, is how you say that guy's name. Looking forward to it, definitely. I like Dennis McCann. I like watching Dennis McCann. I think he's an interesting talent. I think that he's improving. Belute is, it's fair to say, European. It's fair to say he's turned over a couple of prospects. He had that very close fight with Conlon a few years ago, which really showed where Conlon was at. And, if McCann's now, I think Belute is not as fresh as he was back then. So I don't know if he's necessarily, I wouldn't imagine he's going to be as dangerous, but he's still dangerous. I mean, he won his last fight, didn't he, against the Warren prospect? But he was down twice in that fight as well. Evening, G-Man. How is the house building going? To be honest with you, mate, I put that on the back burner. So with the permission, the planning is there for 5 years. And it all kind of came to a head, not a head, but it was all kind of there in the last couple of months. Some stuff's happened here, and it made me kind of say, like, I gotta put this on the back burner for the time being. It's not money related or anything, and that's the main reason why I want to go. Well, not necessarily one of the reasons why I said for now, for the next year or two, to try the London gig and see what we can do over there, because I can always do that in a few years' time. You have it for 5 years, so we're kind of holding back off that. Oh my God, this guy. I hope I didn't. No, thank God. I thought I actually put him. I thought I put. I'll name this account later on timeout. But the guy who keeps calling at it, you know what? It's like, why? Like, just why? Like, people like GAD are saying, Garrett A. Davis are saying AJ needs to take it to Wilder, use combos. No, that I don't think that's a good idea at all. Yeah, Navarrete is tremendous. I wish AJ took on Washington back in April. Frankel isn't the sort of guy to look good against in a comeback. No, I'm judging by how Washington looked. Joshua would have looked devastating. It's gone under the radar, but yeah, I seen that. Hamza Shearis, I seen that. That's not going to be a bad fight. It's not going to be a bad fight. That's the next card that we're going to be talking about. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we now have a card every week for the next couple of weeks. We obviously have Dennis McCann this Friday. It's not a massive show. And then I think we have that, is it Newcastle? Is it Newcastle or somewhere like that, where Cyrus Patterson is headlining on Saturday. And then the following week, we have Usyk versus Dubois. And then the week after that, we have Smith Eubank too. And I don't think there's anything after that until until Canelo's fighting. So we have a good few weeks of boxing coming up, lads. We do. So don't. We had a good few weeks of boxing. It was Dyer before a great KO. That was a good KO, all right. Where are we going? This chat is, for some reason, is a bit all over the place. So apologies. It's a bit all over the shop. AJ versus Wilder is a good fight. If AJ gets knocked out, then the people can say they were right. But AJ has a chance of knocking out Wilder, so let's wait and see before the event. Let's give AJ respect. So, no, we got to give AJ a lot of respect there. He's had a great. AJ has tried to do what Tyson Fury is claiming he's doing, if that makes sense. Joshua tried to, he did unify. He tried to make big fights, whereas Fury's claiming he's trying, but everyone's ducking him. Now, obviously, AJ lost, but that's what happens. The boos weren't super loud at round 6G, man, but people were getting antsy from round 5. It would have been pretty loud if we'd have gone, wow. For a Joshua fight, though, that's surprising. You know, because it's very seldom. Like, I don't think the only time I can remember the crowd coming close to turning on Joshua was the fight against Carlos Takam, where there was that BS stoppage, and you could tell the fans were really angry, and Joshua handled it very well, and he was able to kind of turn the crowd back onto his side because they were close there in that fight after the stoppage. But the fact that they were booing, that's. You looking forward to the new Saw movie? I've never seen a Saw movie, mate. To be honest with you, I've never actually seen it. Are you familiar with October Red Boxing? She's very good. No, I'm not actually. October Red Boxing. I'll have a look here. I can't. Honestly, I can't say I have October Red Boxing. I can't say I'm familiar, but 6,000 subs. I'll have a look. See, honestly, forgive my ignorance. I can't say I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen that. I haven't seen Torres. I know we got a first round knockout, but I haven't actually seen him yet, mate. So I'll have a look. I like Richard Torres. I like watching him. I don't get why people say Helenius. I don't, mate. Like, I've given up with it at this stage now because it seems like every big fight we have, there's someone claiming that they claimed Helenius took a dive against Wilder. It's like any big fight that ends in a knockout, it's like they took a dive or it was fixed. So I just think that for me, I just don't even pay it any attention because it's like it is clearly a punch has landed, a heavy punch, and he's gone down and he's not able to get back up. I mean, for me, I'm just like, what the hell? Why do people think AJ would lose against Wilder more so than Wilder loses to AJ? Surely the person who has more to his game has the higher probability of beating the other boxer. AJ is a better boxer. Styles make fights at the end of the day, and it's not always about, you could be a technically superior boxer, but Wilder's style is very, how would I describe it? It's not a style that you're used to or really going to train for. You could probably try and push him onto the back foot, or at least, try and box him a bit on the front foot like Fury did. But AJ doesn't have the speed, doesn't really have Fury's ability to do that. And AJ, if you look at what he was doing in the fight, he does not take his head off center line. Fury does. That's one of the reasons why those right hands Wilder was throwing in the second fight weren't landing, because Fury was taking his head and he was moving it off center line. So Wilder was having to reset and look. AJ had his head glued on center line. I mean, Wilder, all he needs is to just get the range and then boom, that's it. He'd be looking at that thinking, I've got you. If you don't move your head and you keep it on center line with a guard like that, he's like, he's like, I am literally just waiting to uncork it. And a leave and do, so just turn it in to smash the like button. Boom, to Adam, how are you, man? I hope you're good. Thank you, I appreciate that. Smash the old like button. 167 of you guys in the building. Smash, hit a right cross, do whatever you need to do, but hit that like button. Even to the Joe Stunner. Lads, Joe, man, you're only about 50 subs off 2K. Joe Stunner Boxing. If I have time this week, we'll do a live together because I'm dying to see you get 2K. Because I told you could do 3K this year. And you're nearly at 2K. Joe Stunner Boxing, for those who don't know, give Joe a look. Joe Stunner Boxing. If I get a chance this week, I'll try and get you on, man, because getting the 2K, man, you were happy when you got the 1K. And you're nearly on 2. We want to get you there. Did anyone else get a chance to see George Littler fighting against that Dutch lunatic? It's one of the best 6-rounders I've seen in ages. Because I haven't seen it, but people have been telling me that for a while. Or sorry, for the last day, that it's been a good one. Yeah, I don't know. Well, I do know, probably because him and Joshua are not exactly best buds. So I'd say that's probably why. Where are we at in the chat? G-Man, what's that say? G-Man, what part of Ireland you from? Dublin, man. Red does interviews. Okay. Big up to Joe Stunner Boxing for being familiar with her. Yeah, big up to Joe Stunner Boxing in general. Shout out to Joe every single time. Shout out to Joe Stunner every single time. The crowd bought tickets for White Joshua expecting an electric fight, and seeing a slow performance didn't do the job. If it was Helenius from the start, it wouldn't have been sold out. Yeah, I think if they'd done Helenius from the get-go, it would have been a much harder sell than Dillian White. I don't know if they haven't released. I don't think they have now. They haven't released those gloves are off now. The Ade did, which is a shame. That's twice now that's happened with Joshua. I think he can. But he's going to need to make some serious changes. What happened to MJP's YouTube channel? I don't really watch Behind the Glove, so I don't know. Is Behind the Glove gone? Because that's obviously MJP's channel, so I don't know. October Red is a good channel. She interviews all boxers. Look her up. I just have there. I'll have to, once we finish up here, I'm going to have a look at some of those interviews. Because I have to say, honestly, until you said it, I never even remotely heard that. I've heard some people say Derek James ain't the right fit for Joshua and he should leave Matchroom. Thoughts? Well, he signed a lifelong contract at Matchroom, so he's in with that. In terms of Derek James, you know, you look at some of the technical aspects of Joshua's game, that footwork looked good. That jab looked good. So there's definitely improvements that Derek James is making to him from, you know, in terms of a technical game. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think Joshua seems to have a good rapport with him. So I'm happy enough for him to stay with Derek James. You know, some people, this is the thing. They want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. You know, when a fighter has a bad performance, blame the trainer, blame the network, the promoter, etc. I'm not saying it was necessary. Look, it wasn't ideal, the performance from Joshua. But when you look at some of the things he does some things fine. I think people just want to throw the baby out with the bathwater now. Get rid of the trainer, get rid of the broadcast. It's like, relax. Relax. Has never beat a non-bum in his life. He's red rotten. I think Wilder will be foaming at the mouth going in there against Joshua. Yeah, I haven't heard him, but people have been telling me that. People certainly have been telling me that. Joe Joyce Joe Joyce is very robotic. Maybe the crowd turn on age will be a good thing. He seems to be preoccupied with pleasing everyone instead of relaxing and being himself. Not giving a toss might be what he needs mentally. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Because he does seem to... That's the thing. I think with Joshua, he knows that promoters, networks, his fans, they expect certain things, whereas he's probably best to just say, the hell with all of you, the hell with Eddie Hearn, the hell with the zone, the hell with all of you. I'm going to do what I feel is best for me. In the ring, I'm going to go in the way I want. I'm going to do what I want. I'm not going to try and do this or do that. On Holiday G. All right. I don't know. I'm a bit worried I'm a bit worried they'll make an offer to O'Hara Davis and offer him step-aside money, and we'll get the bloody Rowley rematch. I'm a bit worried they might do that. I hope they don't, because O'Hara Davis should fight Rowley because he's going to be a world champion. Because Rowley is the worst world champion in boxing. At the minute, at present, he is the weakest world champion out of any champion in boxing, is Rolly Romero. And no one is going to change my mind on that. Rolly Romero. That Helenius guy sure likes getting... that's harsh, but not completely untrue. Let's be honest, Fury and Wiley leveled them up to rest, but Wilder isn't bring it on. AJ Wilder, be a good fight. Oh, we're definitely guaranteed a knockout. Strange, isn't it? I honest to God, I don't know. You know, I've heard a few rumors. I've heard this, but we haven't even, if he's been let go, there's been no word or announcement. It's strange, the whole Adam Smith situation. And look, right, I'm not the biggest Adam Smith fan. Not really. The only time I really like Adam Smith on commentary is when drama happens, because he gets animated, and that's not too bad. But the rest of it, I'm happy to never hear him commentate again. Can honestly say, not a big fan of Adam Smith. Why guys can bring the aggression out of AJ? Which guys can bring the aggression of AJ to let his hands go? Probably someone like Gerald Watt, someone he probably feels no perceived threat against. If he goes in there and he's like, "You've got no power. You've got no power here," then he's probably going to just go hell for leather and be all on like white to rice. Other than Ruiz, AJ has only hit the canvas once. Wilder hit the canvas 5 times in his last 3 fights, almost losing 2 of them. Alone losing 2 of them. I think both guys are vulnerable. I think both guys can be got to. I just think that Wilder is able to compartmentalize a lot better than Joshua is. He's able to just kind of go in, still have the killer instinct, still let the shots go without really thinking about his own vulnerabilities, whereas AJ hyper focuses on them. I don't know which you'd rather. Would you rather be someone who goes in there and focuses on their weaknesses, or just doesn't focus and figures it out as he goes along? To be honest with you, if you hyper focus on something, it very seldom does it work out well. Wilder is an old fighter now and hasn't fought much in the last few years. I'd say AJ has a better chance than people would give him credit for. We still don't know if Wilder has any punch resistance left. Yeah, where is Adam Smith? I guess it's as good as mine. Yeah, Spence's defense was really off. Oh, I picked Rowley in that fight, but most fights against him I wouldn't be picking. Any guy in the top 10 beats Rowley. Any guy in the top 10, I'd be saying, yeah, you're beating Rowley. Am I the only one who isn't impressed with Hrgovic at all? Yeah, I wasn't impressed with him last night at all. Like, I was like, nah, man, that wasn't a good performance at all. Good evening, G-Man. Hope you're well. Have to say, AJ is done. This comeback simply ain't happening. He's so good to try against Wilder. He's going to get caught. The champions are so far ahead of him. That's what Mike is saying, okay? I think he needs more rehabilitation fights, personally, and I think Gerald Washington, someone who he doesn't feel a perceived threat against, he should be okay. I think we'll start maybe seeing him let his hands go. I hope. Is the best heavyweight in this division? No. I definitely don't think he's the best in this division. I think it's between Fury and Usyk. Have it in whatever order you want. I'd probably just favour Canelo slightly. Even to Ra, see you in a month. Definitely will, mate. Definitely will. Definitely will. I will be seeing you. I'll be seeing you at that. I'm not going to say which press conference, but I'll definitely be probably seeing you at one of them. You know which one. What pro boxer is Fury ducking today? Probably just Alexander Usyk. Really? Is that true, mate? Suffering. If that is that legit, like, but if that's true, then my God Almighty, my deepest sympathy go out to him, because that is not something you wish on your worst enemy. Good Lord, I hope to God he's okay. If that is the case, dear Lord, I hope he's okay. I hope it's not too serious. Well, it is serious, but I hope it's not life-threatening if that is the case. Basically, oh man, he needs to retire. Just get him out of there now. Now, what do you all think of Chisora? Yeah. I don't know. Chisora is a strange guy. He is a very strange guy. He really, truly is. He's a very, he really is a strange character. I just hope that's the end of him. That actually isn't too bad a shout. That might not be a bad shout, because honestly, he can't keep anyone off him. I mean, AJ fought a much fresher Carlos Takam and didn't really have much trouble with him. Lost a round or two, but Takam was a lot fresher back then. He goes in there against Tony Yoka, and like, he was looking like, Iron Man in there against Tony Yoka. He looking like George Foreman in there walking Tony Yoka down. Been brought back. The fact he was so tentative is a bit of a worry, but the fact that he was able, once he let the shots go and he opened up and got a big knockout, I'm hoping that will help him. I'm really hoping that will help him. Conor McGregor, I don't like that guy at all. He's a scumbag, and I don't understand why Eddie Hearn is having him on these shows, like being out there as a guest. I just think he's a scumbag, just a complete classless scumbag, and I just don't even waste my time talking or listening to the stuff he comes out with. Yes, I think he would. I've seen drop by a single body shot from a non-puncher. I've seen drop by a single body shot from a non-puncher. Oh, from Fury. I was thinking, who was that with a body shot? Rosansky gives Rowley. No, I'd still say Rowley is worse. Honestly, I'd still say Rowley is worse. AJ's so scared to fight in the pocket. Anytime he gets close, he throws one shot, backs off, gets KO'd by Wilder fighting like that. Ben is guilty as sin. AJ gets knocked out cold. No, man, I just like to see Chisora bow out at this point. I'm done. I really hope that's just done. I really hope he's just done. Sometimes when I hear those Talksport people, they say Tyson Fury is the greatest of all time. I'm like, based on what? Yeah, I don't understand why they're so pro Warren and so pro Fury, because based upon what, if you're going to claim that you're the best of all time, then you have to be held up to the same standards as those who also have the claim. And Tyson Fury is nothing close to what Muhammad Ali has done, nothing close to what Larry Holmes has done, nothing close to what Lennox Lewis has done, nothing close to what any of those guys have done. He's had 6 world title fights, 3 of them against the same guy. When the Unifies ducked Alexander Usyk, instead of fighting contenders, he's gone and having a fight against someone who's never boxed before. When there's people like Frank Sanchez, Magomov waiting in the wing. Yeah, that's a good question. It's not something I think about, mate, to be honest with you. I like that. Get them in the ring. That's not a bad fight. I think AJ would walk through him. I really do. Chinese with his dad, all you can eat. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard him talking about his stout on the in the intros when when Bullet Brain phones in, talk about what. It's beyond disgusting. I don't listen to much Talksport, to be honest with you. I don't. I find it sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not, but I don't really tend to listen to Talksport too much. Yeah, he did. He's sponsored. Please tell me, G-Man, why did media bang on about Tyson Fury, about Fury's a generational great, yet only 39-year-old Klitschko and windmill Wilder? Usyk has a far better resume. Usyk will finish Fury, but it will never happen. Your guess is as good as mine, mate. I think that... I really don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know why they consistently talk about, like, people like Simon Jordan and Gareth A. Davis and people like that, but I just don't get it. Ali, look what he did. Look how many world title fights he had. Lewis, etc. They tried to just make the fight, and when they didn't, they fought their mandatories and contenders. Fury's not doing any of that. It's just bizarre. I thought Adam Smith was in the scammer for that. G-Man, I just want to say it was great following along with your live last night. Genuinely, thank you. I enjoy following your boxing videos and take on boxing. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that, man. I really do. I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was something? It went longer than I thought it would, because I was thinking, okay, we'll be done and all by 10:30. So we'll go live at 9, do an hour and a half. Whoa, boy, was I wrong. That went nearly 3 hours. I'm going with Lee Wood. The word I'd use to describe Tyson Fury is that. What's that say there? I don't understand why DAZN has Ade as they was in a ringside, journalist, and in the ring way too much for one person. Top bloke, big up Ade. Yeah, big up to Ade. Well, Ade is really, to be honest with you, he's the only real good one that they have. Out of all the kind of people they have with DAZN, he's the best. He really is. And out of the rest of them, they're all garbage. So I think with Ade, they just have someone who's got the energy. He knows what he's talking about. He's able to look good on camera, and he's not fuffling his words or anything like that. So, that's why I'm sure they keep doing that. And look, I'd rather listen to Ade than look. If you look at Sky, the guys they have doing the interviews and stuff like that. I mean, they are awful. They are awful. They really are. There's no energy, no charisma, and it's like it's so generic. Like when you listen to Sky or TNT, it's like I'm here backstage. Are you looking forward to the fight? How are you gonna do? You gonna win? And it's just that vague, blank expression. It's just the kind of, yeah. How are you gonna do? Where at least with Ade, there's life there, and Ade is genuinely happy to be there. So much better. Thank you, mate, for the £2. I appreciate that very, very much. What are your thoughts on the commentary? I'm glad I didn't listen to it. That's my thoughts on it. I'm very, very, very happy that I didn't listen to it. And I have no intention of listening to it. I heard how bad it was. Big up G-Man from NYC. Rarely do I get to watch the live content. Big up to JND Boxing. How are things over there in NYC? It's a town I've never been to, but I'd always like to go and see it. What you want about Hearn. A Hearn interview is way more enjoyable than listening to the Frank Warren interview, right? It depends, right? So Frank Warren, when he gets ranting, can be quite funny to listen to. I'm not going to lie. When he gets up and when he gets to be in his bonnet and he starts ranting, he can be quite amusing to listen to. I'm not going to lie. AJ has no part, can't watch his lives where he contradicts himself constantly. He does do that a bit. Does Anthony Joshua? They're very biased towards Warren, and I don't really know why. I look, put it like this, right? If the Zone are being a bit biased towards Hearn, he's their main promoter. Of course, they're going to be a bit biased. Imagine Sky not being biased towards Boxer. It's like they're your main promoter. Of course, TNT being biased towards Warren. I get that, but TalkSport are supposed to be objective. They're impartial. They're not really. They go to all the shows, but yeah, they are very biased towards him. Because biased towards Warren because Hearn and them have different dynamics. He will always come back. They're scared of Warren saying they won't get another interview. I think that does play a role in it, and it's well known. People, have said that before about Warren. You ask him hard questions, you ain't getting an interview with him again. It sounds a bit unfathomable, but I think if Ngannou hits Fury with a good shot, he could KO him. You never know. Mate, that's a long shot. It could happen, but I wouldn't be losing sleep over it. I would not be. I wouldn't be holding my breath on it. Put it like that. Usyk hasn't got a better resume as a whole. His resume is tremendous as a whole. 2 wins over Joshua, a win over Chisora. He'll have Daniel Dubois, probably have Hrgovic. More contenders, certainly. Fury, a win over Klitschko was a good win, and the win over Wilder when he was undefeated, especially given the turnaround Fury had, coming back from all that. But that's it. Dylan White, yeah, decent, but still, he could have fought Dylan White in 2019, but he didn't. He fought Tom Schwartz instead and sold it as a world title fight. Del Boy is live on Disturbed. Oh, he's on Disturbed. I was worried there. I was like, oh, what? Me and Del hitting in with one another. Disturbed is live, is he? I don't really tend to go in those lives too much because there's so many in them. There's like 300, 400 at a time. How many title fights did Foreman and Liston? Liston didn't have many. So he Floyd Patterson twice. And then Ali. So he had Patterson, Ali, 4. He had 4 fights. Foreman didn't have that many, to be fair. Foreman had Frazier. Then he fought Jose Ramirez or Romeo or Roman or something like that in Japan. Knocked him out in the round. Then it was Ken Norton. Then it was Muhammad Ali. And then it was Holyfield. Then it was Morrison. Then it was Moore. And then he was Axel Schultz. So he had 8 world title fights. And if you want to count, I don't count it because after Axel Schultz, he was stripped of the WB. No, he was stripped of the IBF after Axel Schultz. So he had fights against Savarese, someone else. I can't remember his name. Crawford Etienne, or was it? No. Something. I can't remember his name. And then he had Shannon Briggs, but you don't really count them because they weren't thing. How many views did last night's live get? Over 10,000. Oh, they should definitely keep Barry Jones. They should definitely. Addy Going Places, very good broadcaster, very natural, definitely. Mentions you often in his shows. I know, man. Delighted, man. Look, shout out to Addy. He's helped me an awful lot. You know, we and him did that main event for the Zone back in April. That was my first time on there. I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, this is going out on the Zone. AJ can beat, oh, and thank you for the £5 as well, mate. I really appreciate that. AJ can beat Wilder. AJ has always said, you put Wilder on the back foot, you most likely win. And Fury proved that. And yes, I know it's not the same, but if he can do that and he's cute, look, I don't doubt that AJ can beat Wilder, but all I know is just the way he's been lately, I won't be picking him personally. But you never know. You definitely never know. I'm after getting lost here now. Where was I? Your impression of there is hilarious but spot on. It's true though, you know. Another reason why I like Ade doing the presenting, right? It's because Ade makes it's not something he shies away from. He didn't study, you know, media or any of this, and he didn't study any of it. So for Ade, it's very natural. It's just a case of, you know, the cameras are on you, yeah, but you're doing it as you feel is right. You're doing it the way you yourself would be if there was no cameras there, you know. He's interviewing her, and it's, hey, Eddie, and this, that, and the other. It's nice, natural flow. When you studied it, you're told to speak a certain way, ask these, and they're very robotic. There's no life there. You know, they're basically there for their degrees and stuff like that. They're not there for the talent. They're there because they've gone through the motions, they've done this, and now they're just, you know, interviewing these guys. And a lot of them, boxing and maybe darts wouldn't be their main sport. They're just taking any gig. And it's like, hello. So your ring walk is in 5 minutes. What are you going to do tonight? And the boxes are just like, I'm going to go out there and win. That's good. Anything we need to look for? And it's just like, what the hell? Whereas with Ade, it's just more natural. It's like he's having a chat with them. And that's better because you're getting them out of your shell a lot more. That's how I'd often be. Like, as you see with me when I do the interviews with fighters, I'm just like, let's just, well, what do you think about what he said that? And then they're like, he said, you get it going. You get a flow going. And it's the best way to be. Yeah, it's, I can't imagine it's fun. I really don't think so. Please don't say that. I hope that's not the case. I really hope that isn't the case. 190 in the building. Look at that. 190 in the building and only 71 likes. If you haven't already, hit the like button, help your boy out, because we're doing well today, lads. We're doing well today. Jesus, man, the channel is growing. I might be at 13k soon, hopefully. Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. Boom. Big up the base, and if you haven't already, we're getting the lads in the chat tonight. How are you, mate? I hope you're keeping well. Base, the kid, the hardcore casual, make sure you go over and give him a sub as well. Shout out the base every time, smashing the like, and I'll definitely be doing the same on your videos, man, as we always do. You help each other out, man, on this. You know, you always got to do that. You know, it's like me and Base might not agree on everything. Me and Hatman might not agree on everything. Me and Addy might not agree on everything. But so what? We still enjoy each other's content. We still watch it. And shout out the base every time, man. I hope you're keeping well and having a good day, man. Hope you're keeping good. I'm looking forward to hearing you. Don't do that. I did it again. You know when you bring the control screen up on the iPhone, I was like, don't do that. Wilder will end AJ's career. Eddie knows that. Cash out. People always ask me that. My boyfriend got one. Yeah, I definitely will. No, I'm not even going to shy away. I definitely will. 100%. But it's just a case of getting all this stuff up off the ground and stuff like that we can do about that. Do you think the £100 the zone fee has been worth the value? Well, I didn't pay the £100. I'm just doing the monthly £10 a month because it just works out better for me to do that. That is one thing I'm worried about, though, is that when I move to the UK, I'm going to have to cancel my DAZN subscription. Not because I don't want it, but because if you set up a DAZN subscription in Ireland, you can't use it in the UK. I found that out when I went over there a few times. So I'll have to, maybe it's not the case. Maybe I can use a VPN or something, but I'd have to set up a new account over there under the UK, which is not ideal. I hopefully don't want to do that, but we'll wait and see. Apparently he's retired now. Yeah, we don't. McGregor is just, he is what he is. Usyk has like one good fighter. Usyk in general or just a heavyweight? Because talking about in general, it's like Crawford Grimsley. That's the one. We'll be like, AJ is the best. Cringe. Right. I strongly disagree. Helenius had Wilder on the back foot and was knocked out. Spark. Helenius defensively in every aspect is no AJ. I mean, he is as slow as molasses as Robert Helenius. Have you been watching Ade's Road to 175-pound journey on his channel? Everyone leave a like. I haven't watched his latest episode. I'm going to watch it after this and then film review of the week. But yeah, I mean, fair play. I mean, I don't know if I'd be able to do that, man. I really don't. I mean, fair play for doing it. I don't know if I could do that. And boom. High praise, man. From Joe Stunner as well. High praise. Probably not too entertaining, to be honest with you. I think it'd be just, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll get a VPN set up and we'll be good then. I paid the £100. It's all right, not great, but not too bad either. Yeah, you can't complain. I don't know. I'm just going to keep on the £10 a month for the time being. I think it's less than £10 a month actually. I'm going to keep on that for the time being. Maybe I will upgrade to the £100. I don't know. We'll wait and see. I mean, it just gives you a little. It just means it's done. Most of the streams are from. Are they actually? Yeah. I don't really. I only do that now and again these days. Couldn't agree more. AJ is broski. I don't think he is. I hope so, man. I really hope he calls it. Like, he's got to win now. He's got the win. He's not going out on a loss. Just please, for the love of God, give it a rest. Just please. I really hope he does. I really hope that that's the end of it for Chisora, because it's not going to end well. It really won't end well. And the people saying that he should have fought AJ last night, it's like, really, he looked shot to pieces in there. That's a good question. You would say, I probably would, even though I pick Wilder, I'd probably say AJ has more left to give boxing. Saturday fortnight. So not this Saturday, the following Saturday. Oh, come on, no way. Please don't. If he does, then just let him fight journeyman after journeyman after journeyman who don't throw any punches, because I really don't want to see it. I hope not, man, because it's not worth it. In the end, like, it's just not worth it in the end, I don't think. I just don't think in the end that's going to be worth it, So for me, it's just like, please, I hope to God he just says, right, I've had my day in the sun. Enough is enough. I'm going out with a win. Can't complain. Going out with a win. And that's it. Yeah, 26th. So Saturday fortnight. We're looking forward to that one. I'm going to be doing, hopefully this week, a couple of previews for it. Do a few videos on both guys' keys to victories and stuff like that. Even though I'm fairly sure I know who's going to win, we're still going to talk a bit about it, do a few previews, and just kind of break it down and have a chat over how we think it's going to be. Yeah, he fought last night at 140. I reckon he could go down to 135. I don't think it would help personally, but hey, I hate Chisora. You mean Chisora? No. Do you think will actually happen? If you had asked me 8 months ago, I would have said yeah. But right now, it's like, it just looks for all the world like Fury doesn't want it. And he may never want it. And for me, it's like, if one fighter was just going to dig his heels and not try and make it, then there's nothing you can do. Apparently he was looking for absolutely unrealistic money from even the Saudis. So if you're doing that, it's like, you don't want this fight. And if one fighter really doesn't want it, then he's never going to take it. So, We're buying them curtains from you, big fish. They look like cashmere silk. I have no idea what they are, but they're awful. I know that. I know they're awful. I absolutely know they're awful. I would say he should. I think he should as well. Frank Bruno was in the house. Ah, stop doing that. Frank Bruno was in the house last night. Great to see him looking so good. I was there when he won the world title against McCall in Wembley. Sadly, yeah. It's sad he didn't have a really long reign with it, but yeah, I'd say that night would have been amazing. Apparently so. Apparently he's promoted by some crowd now out of Australia. Yeah, we'll do a live watch along for that. That one's going to be a trickier one to get the timing right, though, because that's in Poland. So it's going to be on an hour earlier than we're used to. So we'll have to get the timing right for that one. But we'll do a watch along for that one 100%. We will do a watch along 100% for that one. What time are we at now? And I only ask that because I want to get review of the week recorded, because tomorrow I want to get a good night's sleep because I've got to go doctors tomorrow. Believe it or not, I've got a big doctor's appointment tomorrow. Nothing major, nothing serious, but I have to see my GP tomorrow in the morning first thing. And it's nothing major, don't worry. Boys out, well, your boy will be fine, but I have to see my doctor in the morning, which is, well, is what it is. Do you reckon Fury is hoping to see the weakness? Possibly. I reckon if Usyk goes life and death with Dubois, then there's a chance he might take it. A chance. There is a chance. But time-wise, where are we at? Nearly 8:30. So I'm probably going to end this one here. And yeah, I'll get recording review of the week. I'll probably upload that now. I'll definitely upload that tomorrow. So that'll go out in the morning at some point. And we'll definitely try and get another live in. I must reach out and see if Joe Stunner is free this week, because I'll definitely get him on to do a live with me as well. Me and Joe do a live together. That'd be good fun. For now, lads, I know it's not quite the hour, but you know, we got close enough to it. I done nearly 3 hours last night. And same to you, man. Same to you, 100%. So I am going to call it here. Hope you all enjoyed it, people. Smash the like button on the way in or on the way out. If you haven't already, it's still over 160. Please hit subscribe. I like seeing the numbers go up. We want to get to 13K as quick as we can. So people, for now, I'll call it there. I hope you all enjoyed it. And people, peace.